Good morning, everyone. I guess it will still be morning by the time I am able to put this video up. I hope all of you are doing well. I have a collective haul for you today to see what I was able to find over the weekend. These were totally unexpected finds because I did not plan to do any shopping this weekend. I had a list a mile long of things I needed to get done. Plus, we had several events and family commitments and birthday parties to go to. So I am entering into my Monday very tired, very happy, but very tired. But on Friday morning, my husband, he's off work on Fridays, and he said, oh, I have a Facebook Marketplace, not order, but you know what I mean. I have a meetup to pick up something that I'm buying. And it's in the town where the craft reuse store is in. Would you like to ride along? I mean, what am I supposed to say? Number one, I get undivided time with my hubby in the car on the way there and back, and also I get to go to the craft reuse store. Of course, I'm going to say yes. So I did, and I ended up putting a lot of the things that I needed to get done on Friday to today. So as soon as I get all of this shown, I'm going to have to put it all up and hit my Monday, hit the ground running on my Monday morning. So first of all, let me show you the books that I was able to find. Now, the first four are books that my mom picked up for me at an antique store. She called me over the weekend and said that she saw some for really good prices and asked if I wanted any of them. And I picked out a few that I really would like to add to my collection or had at one time and have already used. So this was a very old copy of Frosty. I am actually getting pretty low on my Christmas books that I can use as covers. So I think these were all around $2.25. And for that price, I'm like, sure, even if it's not in the best of shape, I can at least salvage some of them. But these are all in great shape. And then I got this one. This one has a little bit of staining on it, but this is as you all know, an Eloise Wilkin. And I'm excited about this because this will go into my pile for the baby journals that I'm going to be making soon or one day. Here's a hymn book. I've used this in the past, and I hope to use it again in the future for maybe a Bible journal, a scripture junk journal. I love the images in here, and of course there's songs, which are just beautiful in and of itself. So again, very good quality for this one. This one's a little bit newer. It's 89 cents. It has a barcode, so I'm guessing 80s. And this was 1990, I believe. And I think this is the one and only printing of this one. I don't remember this book growing up. It was probably more of my sister's era, but the pictures were cute inside. And the price was good. This was $2.25. So I'm working on 2 Easter/spring journals right now for 2 more customers. So I probably won't be doing any more, but see, this one is very Eastery, so I'll be saving this for next spring. This one actually has some glue or something right here. It looks like his nose, but it's something on top, so I'm going to work to get that off, probably with a heat gun. While we were in the same town as the reuse store, we also ran into a used bookstore that I honestly haven't gone into since I stopped homeschooling our kids. And I used to buy a lot of their literature titles in there because I like to buy used paper books for that purpose when I could. But I have not been in the children's section in many years. And so while my husband was looking at what he was looking for, I went over there, and oh my goodness, I found some treasures. Now, a lot of these books right here, I honestly expected them to be $4 and $5 a piece. Most of these were $1.50 to $3. I was shocked because normally at used bookstores, even the children's books, especially if they're a little bit vintage, they price them up. But I went ahead and grabbed some. Now, they had a pretty good selection of Little Goldens and the first Little Goldens, which I don't think I've ever made a journal out of. But how could I pass this little teddy bear up? Not only is it a teddy bear, it's very 80s, and there's giraffes all through it. So this one obviously had my name on it, and I had to get it. But his little face, he reminds me of Corduroy in the face. the way he rolls his eyes over to one side. Sorry I'm a little stuffy-headed sounding this morning and sniffly. I am on as many antihistamines as I can possibly be on, but I think the one tree that I'm allergic to is shedding pollen right now, so the medicines are not working. This is Ernie Gets Lost, and I don't know if y'all remember these growing up books. They all have this inside flyleaf page. I love that. And this one was not only about Sesame Street, but it had vintage department store images in it, so I had to get this one. I think it's really funny how there's a combination of human adults and Muppet adults in these books. That always cracks me up. This one, do y'all remember the Twiddlebugs? They lived in little milk cartons outside of Bert and Ernie's window. And this book is mainly images of them, but a few of Ernie. Bert is not in this book, but it's a golden shape book, and I love using these in my journals. I did find a little golden book of Sesame Street. This one is 1985, but it's the T printing, so probably 90s. And it's all about the Count. And it's, this cracked me up right here. Reporter Kermit. I loved it when he did reports. This one right here is laugh out loud funny. Maybe I was just slap happy the day that I looked through it, but I was laughing out loud. It is so funny. And my husband was like, I actually remember this book as a kid. This is a 1975 publication. 74, sorry. And it is just so cute and clever is what I should say. It's just a clever book, and it's enjoyable for kids and probably adults as well. I would have laughed while reading this to my kids if I had this book when I was raising my two. Okay, so I can't pass up Fujikawa. That was one of the first sections of the store I went to. I, of course, cannot do anything with this book, really. This is a board book, but I've been wanting it for a while just to have in my personal collection. 1975, and it is just full of her classic illustrations of children with little animals. Things that will never happen in real life right here. This cracked me up. But yeah, adorable. I love this one. A lion can be friendly, but from a distance. They're way in the background. There's a little budgie. So yeah, adorable. And for the price, I think this was $2. I was like, this is worth getting just to have on my bookshelf of favorite things. I did get 3 more little golden books. Most of these were $1.50. This one is a 2001 copy, but it's the Richard Scarry illustrations, so I can't pass those up. And then I got Eloise Wilkins' Mother Goose, which will be perfect and precious for a baby journal. And then I have seen people turn these into summertime / ice cream journals, and I've been wanting to make one. And even though it's not that old, oh look, it was sold by another used seller at some point too for about the same price I paid. So yeah, I grabbed this. I look forward to this. I'll be using a lot of pink and purple in this one. And last but not least, this is a Honey Bear book. It looks like something that you would have bought at AC Moore or Dollar General back in the 90s or mid-2000s, 2005-ish. But look, it is another Fujikawa. Obviously, they had rights to her images to publish this book after her passing. But this right here is so beautiful, and I can use the parts of the images that are not her children to go in my houses and home journal. I think that's sweet. I wish I could salvage this page. That little black cat is precious. If any of y'all have tips on how to remove the flyleaf part of the page that's adhered to a cover, let me know. I will not be using this cover. I don't like it at all, but I want to use this if I can. I don't know if I can, other than copying it and using it in a personal journal. But this book is not quite as useful as far as images, but there are a few cute ones in here. And gosh, that's just pretty for a fall journal. And I think this whole journal, I think this whole book is very fallish. This one image will not be used, although I think I've told y'all that I'm sort of holding on to images like this if I don't want to keep anything on the back. And one day I'm going to make a journal of just images that are rejects for all other journals. That should be fun. This, I love the way she knows children. Like every little thing in here, just every little detail, you can tell that she pays attention to what children cherish in their life. We've got a jar of tadpoles. I'm not sure what this is about, but a little picture of his dog, which he obviously loves more than anything. And then over here, every kid has a glass of water on their night table, and he couldn't reach the lamp, so he tied a string. And I thought that was so cute. So, and then I do have this image with the cat on this side. So if I can't salvage the other one, I can at least use this. All right, let me move these out of the way. So let's get to what most of you are probably here for, the craft reuse haul. I went in just for patches and appliques, and I will show you honestly, I'm very excited. I worked on a project this week that is not junk journal related, but if you like junk journals, you will like this project. That's all I'm gonna say right now. I'm very excited to share with you, so stay tuned for that. But obviously I bought more than just appliques and patches. I did find a few of those, but I found a whole bag of other stuff as well. I found this roll of semi-vintage IKEA wrapping paper from 2015. This is just for fun. I mean, I don't know how thick it is, probably not super thick, but I'm always looking for fun and interesting gift wrap to use as pages. I like to use vintage when I can, but this is just fun. It would be fun in a kid's journal or an eclectic journal. There's all kinds of fun critters on there. This, honestly, I did not buy this for junk journals. I guess I could use it for junk journals. This is decorator trim that you would see on the edge of a valance topper or a pillow. I love the colors. I know these are very probably 2010 colors. I know my house had a lot of these colors in it then, but this whole thing was $1, you guys. So yeah, that was $1. I'm like, did I pay $7 for it and not know? It's worth $7, but it is a lot of it. And I saw it and I said, I'm going to go ahead and get this. I think it'd be cool for as cheap as it is to do things with it, like wrap around flower pots to create more like a boho look. I just think it's too pretty to not use in other things in the house other than journals. And it's very boho looking. You could even put it on the bottom of a lampshade. So, excited about that. Someone had obviously donated all of their cross-stitch books. So there was a tote full, and I mean one of the big totes. So I shouldn't have, but I literally sat down on the floor and started going through them, and I told myself I would allow myself one, and this is the one I chose. This is very 80s. Let's see what the actual date is, 83. And I have a pillow, one of those cross-stitch pillow covers where the outside is ruffly and the inside is a cross-stitch fabric square. So I wanted some cross-stitch patterns that are square that I could use. And this has several. There's that little one. That's a circle, but I could still use it. Very 80s looking. I love these. These kind of look 70s to me. But that pattern is in here. We've got some kitchen images. These floral, honestly, I might use one of these and then change the color of the flowers to blue to match my pillow, because the pillow is blue floral. And then we've got these. That might work too. But there were a lot of patterns in here, and all the books were 50 cents. So I was like, let me get one with the most patterns available for that price. Okay. This is not in any kind of order. I'm sorry. It was kind of put into the bag in order of weight. So I'm not going to do all the fabrics and all of that. So okay, I don't know much about bark cloth. I hear people talking about it. I see people making tote bags out of it and selling them on Etsy. I don't think this is bark cloth. This feels new, but it looks old. So I don't know. It's very thick, loose weave, very coarse texture. It's very 70s looking, but the I cannot remember what this is called. It's a style of print. If anyone knows, please shout it out or put it in the comment section. But it says right here, House and Home, no date. House and Home Fabrics and Draperies Inc. Guaranteed washable colors, pre-shrunk, residual shrinkage does not exceed 3% test. So it's obviously upholstery and drapery, but whether or not it's old, I don't know. But this, so they have these huge bins with wheels, 2 of them, that look like what you would see in a textile mill, like where they would throw the scraps. And they're so big, you could probably have 20 people jump in them and have room. So you kind of bend over and go head first into these bins, and you're looking for pieces of fabric you can use. And any piece, single piece by itself out of this bin is 25 cents. It doesn't matter if it's this big or 3 yards long. So these were both in there, and these were 25 cents each. I cannot get over it. I feel like sometimes they make mistakes and throw things in there that shouldn't be in there, because I'm always asking the staff, are you sure this is supposed to be in this bin? Because it seems too nice to be in here. Okay, let's put this little stack over here. I cannot believe it when I looked up on top of one of the bookshelves and saw this 45 record. So I can use the record cover as a journal cover if I wanted to, or as some sort of a ephemera in the journal. It looks played but not destroyed. So I'll be listening to it. It says original cast 1977. And I think it's just really cute that Ernie and Bert have a single. So that was fun. I think that was $1. Some of the things weren't marked, and if you find something that's not marked, it's usually $1 to $2 at the register. I found this. This is vintage, and it's 1970. Let's see, 72, and it's printed in Israel, but published in America. So I'm not really sure what that means, but this is Scenes from Jerusalem in needlepoint. I'm assuming it's all cross stitch, but yeah, gorgeous. And I am working on sourcing for an Israel journal to make for my husband, because he traveled there about, gosh, it's been 7 years. It's 7 years this year, oh my word. He has his memories chronicled digitally, but he would like to transfer them to paper. So I am working on a journal for him, and I thought this was perfect to add as pages in that. Maybe one day I'll make one of these. I don't know. I found this in the notepad box quite unexpectedly, and there's a lot of sheets left. This is a very 80s Garfield notepad that used to belong to Laura. It says 78, but it has to be newer than that because of the barcode. I have not found any Sesame Street coloring books, even at Dollar Tree. I look every time I go, and I feel like they don't have any anymore. So when I saw this is Dollar Tree brand, I said, yes, let me get it. Even though it's not vintage Sesame Street, there are characters in here that were not a part of the original. Like Elmo is not vintage Sesame Street, so I won't be using him probably in these journals. But there's Cookie, and okay, she's new. Okay, Elmo's new too. Grover, Cookie. It's going to be challenging to find some with only the old characters on both sides, but I'm going to try. It was 50 cents, so it was worth the risk of hoping there were some in there. Okay, do you guys remember the little My Little World coloring books by Golden? These are adorable. They're just very, this doesn't even look used. They're very blocky. Very, very simple and basic, but I love them. And I don't think this one was used at all. And these pages are wonderfully aged along the edges. Oh, I didn't look for a date in this one. 1977. And then I found, do you guys remember this brand? I remember seeing this a lot. My mom bought some of these books for me. Multiplication practice books, actually. But this one is, someone took their name off. This one has no date because the first page is torn out. But look, it is a paint with water. And I loved these growing up. And I don't have any other than, I do have a Rainbow Bright paint with water. But that's a very specific genre. So now I have some generic ones to put in journals. I was looking for holographic material, and if you saw my YouTube short, you saw that I found some. I was grabbing it in the video, but it was 5 yards, and I will never use that. And it was priced accordingly, so I decided to leave that behind. But not even 5 minutes later, I found this. It's holographic paper that could be put through an inkjet printer. Now, I probably will not do that, but I did need some sort of holographic material in some upcoming 80s journals that I'm working on. So there's 5 sheets in here, and this was $1. Now, with gift wrap at this store, it is hit or miss. I either find nothing or a ton, and this time I felt like I lucked out. I found several packs of folded gift wrap that are vintage. This is vintage Kmart with the bride and groom. And sometimes there's more than one pattern in here, but I think this is a single pattern. There were probably 2 sheets in here, and there's 1 left. There's 2 sheets in here, however. Forget Me Not. Obviously, this was added later because, look, I love that they recommend ribbon colors. Maybe for the clueless male who goes in there to buy a gift for his wife. But this was in there too. It's not as old, but it does look kind of 80s to me. And then these beautiful poppies. Oh my goodness. When I saw this, my heart pretty much stopped. I was so excited. So I have 1 sheet of that left. I don't remember how much their gift wrap is. It's per piece, but worth it even if there's just 1 page in there. So this is another vintage one by Rust Craft. No date. But it's a happy birthday, and it's the kind that feels like it's not shiny. It's like regular paper, which I love for journals because you can actually write on the back. Adorable little turtles. This one was cool. This one is American Greetings. And I think it's just all 1 pattern. Yep, it's just 1 sheet. And this says 1980 with butterflies. And when I got to the register, the girls that were working had a fit over this one. It is really sweet. Welcome to the world. And it's a bunch of springtime baby animals. The chipmunks were my favorite. It says wedding, but that's not what this is. The back is. There's this. This is probably what was originally in the pack. And it's also gorgeous. Lily of the Valley. I think that's all. Yeah. No. Yes. That's this showing through. I thought there was a 3rd design in there hiding away. You might have seen that I put a little teaser photograph of this. I found this damask in the 25-cent bin. I am not kidding, y'all. I measured it when I got home. It's 3 yards. So I'll be saving this to make journals in the future, but if any of you guys are interested in some of it, let me know. So damask is, I'm assuming, fully reversible. The only reason I think this might be at the store is it looks like it might be a second, because there are some pulls in the fabric weave longitudinally, but that's fine. We don't need to have perfection to have beauty. So you can use the beige with the green, which looks very Sound of Music to me, or you can use the green with the cream on top. Very heavy, very substantially weighted material. Sorry, I was giving y'all something to look at so you wouldn't have to see the grid in all of my videos, but this was not my best choice. It's kind of wrinkled. Another 25-cent fabric I got was this. Now, I'm not crazy about the color, but I did need some chiffon, iridescent type chiffon fabric for these 80s journals. So I think I already have some purple, but this is like a lime green or a celery green. So I grabbed that piece. This was in there as well. This is very thin cotton. It may even not be just called broadcloth. It may be called dimity or something, because it's very, very lightweight. What you would probably make a nightgown or a blouse out of. But I love the flowers, but I especially love the grid in the background. It just makes it look very late 70s, early 80s. And there's a pretty good amount of this as well. Here is some more, I guess this would be brocade, not damask, because on the back it's not really reversible. I guess it could be, but it's not as pretty. This looks very Asian to me, and so I will be saving this for my Asian journals, but it would also be lovely as just a feminine floral journal for someone who loves green. It's almost got a metallic sheen to it. I cannot pass up velvet, and when I saw this 70s gold, oh my goodness, it could not get in my bag fast enough. It's not stretch velvet, it is true velvet, and it is beauteous. Like, I wish I had a couch made out of this. I love it. Here is another new piece of shimmer material that is honestly kind of leotard or bathing suit like, but I will be using it for my 80s journals. It has a mild stretch to it, but it is perfect for my needs for those. This is I don't want to call it flannel. I feel like it's sleep retardant nightgown material. It's that very, very mildly soft stuff that's kind of scratchy on the back. That you would use to make children's sleepwear back in the day. But it had a sweet little rose pattern. Y'all, I found some Swiss dot. I am almost positive this is navy. My lighting is not the best in here right now, but I think it's navy and not black. I didn't have any white with navy, so I was very excited about this little piece. Okay, that was the last of my 25-cent bin. Let me show you the patches that I found. One of them is on my project, so you'll have to stay tuned for that one. But I did find two cruel rocking horses that are facing opposite directions. These are awesome. These will be great journal toppers. Very excited about these. I could not believe these were in there, in the patch box. I found this stamp. It was 50 cents. A lot of the stamps they have there in the business section are the re-inking, and I don't really love those because I feel like they're not worth their money. Because when they need more ink, you kind of have to buy a replacement that costs more than I want to pay. So this one was not re-inking, it was just a regular, and it says, "Hello, my name is blank, and I make," and so I was like, maybe I could make some creative junk journal made by tags using this. It's kind of fun. I don't know. For 50 cents, I was like, let me just grab it and see what my brain can come up with. I found some fabric ribbon, vintage fabric ribbon. I know you guys have seen this. This is the Christmas patchwork. I have some patchwork fabric ribbon already, but it was fall colors. So now I have a Christmas blend. And I'm assuming it truly is Christmas. I think one of these has holly-shaped leaves on it, but you know, I could probably use it in just a regular 70s journal just fine. But there's 6 yards on here, so. I grabbed 2 rolls of fabric. The fabric that is over a yard is rolled, and the fabric that is fat quarter or half of that is folded in squares. So this one was $3, but it is so cute. It is small calico, which is my favorite, but I don't have any like this. And it's a rusty red with turquoise and yellow, and I think that combination is just perfection. I was excited to find that piece. And then I found this. This looks very 80s or 90s to me, and they're little heart flowers on navy. And this has been there since March, which is surprising. They always put the date. Okay, maybe that's not on this one. They usually put the month and the year that the item came in. And honestly, a lot of the things I find have just been put out because they're almost always close to when I'm in there. But that one was back in March. I found this little notepad. It was just quirky and interesting. Not vintage, but it looked vintage. And just a fun, and they're very thick too. So just a fun sheet, like very thick, almost index card weight. I'll just tuck these into journal pockets. This was also interesting. I had never heard of this. Jonathan Adler paper, and it looks like one of those menu pads or a guest check, but it says note to self. And they're very thin. It's like newsprint, but again, so cute just to tuck in a pocket for another place to journal. I've got some large coral index cards that are lined, opened but not many taken out. I bought 1 stamp. This was my splurge item, and I tested it. Sometimes they don't have paper for testing, but they did this time. So this is a daisy and scalloped edge punch. I love edge punching my papers, and I just would like to have a couple more in my stash. I did pick up some quilt squares. I don't even remember getting this now. Some of it I was like, do I want it? Do I not? I threw it in the bag and then forgot to take it out later, but it's okay. So these remind me of William Morris prints, and some of them kind of remind me of Liberty of London. I don't know if any of them really are. Some of them are already sewn together. But the ones that are cut in squares like this are perfect and ready for you to fold over an index card and sew down as a quick and easy journaling card embellishment. And the images are bright and colorful and happy. Lots of florals. There's some on here with scripture. There's some scripture verses on these, so maybe someone was making a prayer shawl or something. We have paisley, yellow, watercolor. That's beautiful. I've got a lot of plain, or like tone on tone plain. This is really fun. It looks like Mary Mecco. And then, yeah, for $2, it was worth grabbing, I thought. I've got so many of these little things now in bags. Like I've got these that I bought last time that look like kites. I really just need to buy a tote and put all of them in there. Because these little Ziploc bags are starting to look messy in my craft space. They have bags for you to fill for $2, and so I filled 2 or 3 of these. So let me open these and show you. These are just light. Actually, I think this one was already put together by staff, but you can also go through their scrap boxes and put your own in, and I'll show you that in a moment. These were handpicked by the staff, and they're all just very light, light and feminine florals. This one was very interesting, I thought. Light gray, but the florals on top look like they're stamped. They're very opaque. A country calico, some peach, little hearts, a nice feathery floral on light yellow, and another one of that gray piece. So these will probably be made into tags for the Easter and spring journals I'm working on right now. I did get another bag of quilt squares for $2. Oh, look, I didn't even notice the strawberries. Cute, like a wildflower with stems. None of these are vintage, I don't think, but they're adorable. This one might be. I have some already like this, but I liked the other ones in the package. This looks very 80s. Okay, this one, very boring to me. So I probably won't hold on to this one. This one is also a little boring. Some more of this gray, which I love. Some hunter green, Cranston. Some navy blue. A fun non-vintage pink. And then look, y'all, these were just in there. Some patched quilt pieces. I couldn't believe it. They normally don't put these in their grab bags, but this one looks like baby. It's little bears and bunnies with balloons. Is that not so cute? It looks like feed sack reproduction, but it is so cute. I love the mint green. All right, this is one of the grab bags that I put together myself out of their scrap bins. I got this shimmery pastel for my 80s journals. It has little silver glitter in it. This was just unique. I don't have any calico this color. This reminded me of an Easter dress my mom made me in the 90s, so I grabbed it for that reason. This looks very Heidi, but maybe also Anne of Green Gables, because it looks very wallpaper-like. And then this, y'all, I can't pass up this little rosebud calico ever, and I don't think I have it in red like this. And another calico. You guys are probably like, geez, what's with the calico? I don't know. I'm obsessed. And my project that I'll show you later this week will show you how obsessed I am with calico. This was just one piece, one and done, but it was just so pretty. Not vintage at all, but the colors are just happy, happy, happy. And then this is, I have gotten this before there. It is truly 70s, and I don't even know what it is, but it's gauzy, and I love the brown background with the fluorescent colors on top. So fun. And I got one more bag of scraps. This beautiful green, and this honestly feels like bark cloth. It's got that textury linen with slubs in it, but I don't know that it is. Concord Fabrics. So semi-vintage. I got this for the Israel journal that I'm making. Never seen anything like this there before. Brown the brown rosebud, which I did have already, but I just grabbed this other piece. I like to use this in fall crafting. Y'all, look at this. It's a little strip of flannel giraffes. Soft little wispy giraffes. And I am smitten with it. This was lovely. It looks like watercolor, like a washed out watercolor, Monet lilies or something. It's just so beautiful. And it's very soft. It's cotton, but it's not broadcloth. I don't know what it is. Calico hearts on green. This is not vintage, but oh my goodness, I love it. Love it, love it. This is going in my daisy journals. Look how cute that is. On a royal blue and more daisies. This is gorgeous. It's very thin, like absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't mind this being a small journal cover. It's just so beautiful. A purple calico, which you don't really see ever, very rarely. A light yellow and peach calico, which just looked very 80s. And this beautiful piece right here. Is that not stunning? It looks almost like the gift wrap I showed earlier. My favorite color combo, I think, is orange, yellow, and green. I just love it. Then I did pick up some fat quarters and half yards. This has been on my wish list for a long time. Actual lawns, I guess that's how you say it, lawns of Salzburg. And this is not flannel, this is their cotton, but oh my goodness, I have wanted this for a long time. This will be going into my Heidi journals or used as a cover. I don't know. It's thin and gauzy, but I think it would be fun as a cover as well. This is so 80s. It's got the pastel hearts, the very Care Bear feel to it, and then it is a stripe that is opaque and transparent, which is very interesting. I'm pretty sure this is right side out, yeah. It's just very, very faint print. And then I got these little teddies. I think this may be Christmas, but I don't know. It would still be cute in a teddy bear journal without a Christmas theme. I got this for the 80s journals because it just looks 80s. Love the colors. Looks like something I would have had my mom make pants for me out of. And I don't really have a plan for this, but I just liked it, so I got it. I love the illustration style and I love the color combo. This was in a ribbon bin, so I think these were 50 cents each. It looks like somebody was making, oh, maybe not because they're cut into segments. I was about to say, I feel like things like this were used to make those belts with the rings in the 80s. That's probably what it was intended for. But it would be adorable sewed down to the edge of a page or a tag. And I'd never seen Snoopy ribbon before. This was open and spilling out of the package, but y'all remember these little Create a Craft. I don't think I have any pastel lemon yellow lace, so I grabbed that. And then I grabbed a bag of beads from a very old Leeward's store, which we did not have, but I understand that there were a series of craft stores somewhere in the nation, Midwest maybe. But do y'all remember these little rosebud beads? I love them. I'll probably use some on journals, but I also thought I might make a stretchy bracelet with some letter beads with them. I don't know why I got these. They're vintage, but I really don't know how I'm going to use them other than actually putting them on file folders in my file drawer. But they were just fun and quirky. Maybe I can use some in the 80s journals. I got this for the Israel journal. And then last but not least, I got this for my sister. She loves Betty Boop. They had a ton of vintage confetti and table scatter. So it looked like maybe a store had gone out of business and just dumped their old stock. But name the theme, they had it. And I tried not to buy all of them. I wanted to, but when I saw the Betty Boop, I said, oh, I have to get this for my sister. That's it, guys. That was my haul. I want to know what your thoughts are. What is the item that you would have grabbed first? What was your favorite? If you have any ideas for anything that I can use some of these items for that I showed, let me know. If you're interested in the brocade, that's not right. I keep saying brocade, damask. Let me know. I've got enough to share. But I hope you guys enjoy your day. Stay tuned for probably a pretty heavy video week this week because I'm behind on sharing things with you guys. So I look forward to doing that and being back with y'all and interacting with y'all. Also, know that I am also extremely behind in watching all of your videos. I have a watch later playlist and I'm going through that as I have time, usually right before I go to sleep. And I think I'm about 2 weeks behind. So I am there. I'm watching. I may not always comment. I'm excited about what everyone else is creating. I'm going to try my hardest to catch up with that this week. It's just been wide open and so many things going on and little projects that I'm trying to finish and then trying to decide how to embark on my new projects coming up. Making sure I have enough ephemera to even start those projects and all of that in between. It's now time to plant plants outside and we're going to have a vegetable garden this year. So it's just a lot happening at once. But thanks for being patient with me. And I always appreciate you coming to my channel and watching my videos more than you know. You guys have a lovely afternoon.